George.
Thank you very much, George and Dai. We're glad to have you both and all the other staff here present in this significant milestone for Balikatan.
That's right, Jojo. We're celebrating Balikatan's 40th anniversary. In the Bible, 40 years is a significant period and considered a generation. The new generation rises up following the old generation.
Today, Balikatan has different generations.
The Bible also encourages us that God's praises must be told from one generation to the next. I wonder how many of our young generation know the history of Balikatan.
To answer that question, we have today, fortunately, some of our pioneers, and we've invited them to share with us about the beginnings of Balikatan. Friends, let's welcome Carmena Cruz, Lina Padilla,
Nani Concepcion, Leni Juarez,
and Melba Maggay. Ladies, the screen is yours.
Hello, good morning to our friends in the Philippines. Let's wait for the other goodbyes members. Melba, Nani, Lina, and Melba. I think we're waiting for Melba. I think I saw Melba somewhere in the line. Okay. Anyway, good morning to our friends in the Philippines. Magandang umaga sa mga kaidigans natin from Apari to Sulu. Good evening to our friends in North America. Hello world. Welcome to Good Vibes. The first, the only, and the last talk show of Balikatan. Bakit Good Vibes? This is where we briefly recollect our early years. This is where we bring back memories. Tara na mga kaibigan. Welcome, let us enjoy and have fun. Welcome to Good Vibes. Okay, let us introduce ourselves. Sino ba tayo? How did you become involved with Balikatan? Leni, Nani, Melba, and Lina. Briefly introduce yourself. Leni?
Leni, nung mag-umpisa ang Balikatan sa US, actually wala ako, nasa Mexico ako. Pero as usual, as always, parating continuing yung connection. So I heard about it and I immediately made sure that I knew what was happening and how I could be connected. So when I moved to the States, of course, then I got more connected in person. Pero sila Nani ang nakakaalam kasi nandoon sila na mag-umpisa ang Balikatan.
Okay, pupunta tayo dyan. Huwag muna tayo pumunta dyan. Nani, paano ka nag-get involved sa Balikatan? Briefly, 1 second. Kay Melba will give the 30 seconds.
Ninang namin si Ate Nortes, ha? We visited them with our baby. Sabi ni Manong If, kailangan mag-gather na tayo ng mga alumni sa buong North America kasi medyo magka-close na ang doors ng IBCF. So that was why we had the first meeting sa aming first small home.
Okay. Thank you. Melba, welcome.
I was actually coming from London kasi I did a year of research sa University of Cambridge. Nung pumunta ako sa Amerika for a conference ng Christian Response to Human Need para sa Wheaton yun. I was actually narinig niyo ko? Mukhang
Yes.
nag-freeze.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Nung pumunta ako sa Amerika for a conference sa Wheaton. Naglanding ako kay Nani at saka kay Lisa first, no? Meron akong visit USA ticket noon. So, pagdating ko ng Wheaton, ang sabi sa akin, I forget kung sino yung nagsabi sa akin, yung report na magsasara na raw ang IVCF in 6 months if nothing is done. So medyo, siyempre, na-alarm ako. So I said, ay, anong ginagawa? Wala pa, ganon. So, kinuwento ko yun, since I was in Wheaton, anong panahon na yun, kinuwento ko kila Lina at saka kay Carmena, na yun ang bad news, no?
Okay.
Tapos I went all the way sa California din, and doon, maraming IVCF doon, sila. So I said to them, kailangan something has to happen. Ngayon, nung bumalik ako sa Virginia, kay Kalayaan, yun na nga, inassemble niya sila Manong Ephraim, sila yung mga Santa Ana, tsaka Pisanya, no? Si M. Pisanya. Tapos I remember we spent a weekend sa Kalayaan. And that's when we started to think about what can be done, no, ng mga alumni.
Okay.
And I think I remember, ganon. So, ganon ang istorya.
Yeah, meron
And
tayong mga contributions related to your istorya. Kasi I have prepared questions to help us where we are now. To our Zoom audience, if you have a follow-up question, feel free to post this on the comment section. We will have someone get back to you. So, sa mga good vibes ko dito, let us roll and continue our conversation. Okay, Melba, balik tayo sa'yo. How did Balikatan start? I think you start with who coined the name Balikatan. Bakit nga ba Balikatan ang pangalan natin?
I think I was the one who coined yung term kasi nga parang kailangan talaga we stand shoulder to shoulder with IBCF at that time. So I think sabi ko, maganda yata sinuggest ko yung name na Balikatan. And everybody was happy with it.
Lina,
Well, kami naman sa Chicago, parang wind of the spirit. Narinig namin yung sinabi ni Melba. And the IBCF Cares Group, nag-usap-usap kami. What can we do to help IBCF Philippines? So tama-tama, tumawag sa akin sa April. And then sabi, ganito ang nangyayari ngayon sa IB, pwede ba kayong tumulong? And then we talk about meeting with them, with MP Zanya, and Del Santa Ana, and Ephraim Morteza, and I think two of them were able to come to Chicago to talk about the IBCF Cares to help InterVarsity Philippines at that time. So I was included in that early conversation about how we can help IBCF Philippines. But when I look at it, I think it is the work of the Holy Spirit touching every alumni in the East Coast and the Midwest. Do something about it.
Melks, meron ka sinasabi? Meron ako narinig na voice. I mean, let's just have a conversation. Kung meron kayong sasabihin, just, you want to butt in, go ahead. Okay, Nani, I'll go to you. Since we're talking about how we started Balikatan, then marami mga talks, marami mga small meetings. Can you tell us about the small meetings, the first few meetings in your house and different places? Then after that, where and when was the first Balikatan conference held?
So, syempre, ang importante, maging, charitable, tawag organization para ang mga
NGO.
giving ay tax deductible. And I can say, Del, and Ephraim actually did this first on the phone, and then later they would send it to New York to stretch out the bylaws and all of that. And minsan, kasama kami at mga babies namin, we would spend the weekend sa bahay ng nanay ni Carmena sa New York, and that was how all of that came to be. Tapos, I don't know how, but I was given a mailing list of about, ako nagbibiro mga 400 plus. Eh, wala pang computer noon, so mano-mano yan. Sinulat ko yung lahat ng mga tao na yon na mag-join sila. And believe it or not, God touched everybody from Florida to Edmonton, Canada, to Texas and all. They responded by snail mail.
So ano naging effect when we did rallied and made some we called everyone to make a donation? Was there anong effect sa situation ng InterVarsity at that time? Sabi ni Melba,
Actually, parang ano,
sabi ni Melba,
parang,
di ba magko-close na?
parang water in the desert yon. The prayers and the generous giving of people, generous, small and big, in those different amounts, and they all flowed. Hindi ko na nakita syempre yon, pero basta sulat na lang ako nasulat ng ano, and I know hidden behind the scenes God was at work in the hearts of people to give. Sabi nga nung isang staff worker, napaiyak siya dahil akala niya wala na silang kakainin. Suddenly may sweldo.
Okay, so di ba ang camps and conferences nasa heart ng InterVarsity. So where was our first Balikatan conference?
Sa Libencel, New Jersey.
Okay, nandun ka ba, Lina, sa conference?
Yeah.
Sino mga ilan tayo na sa conference?
Hindi ko na matandaan, pero meron
Mga
pa din
30
yun.
plus,
Mga
including 3 small children or 4 small children.
So it started with about 30 plus attendance for our first conference. Ngayon, it's our 40th. It's always, our attendance in the conference is always 100 delegates, more than 100 delegates. Hopefully in the Philippines, it will double more than 100 delegates from the US. Anyway, okay, let's move on. So sa Balikatan, first we started to find out on how we can help InterVarsity. So sabi natin, siguro it would be nice to gather together, so we created Balikatan Conference. Pero hindi lang yun. Something happened too. Let's talk about our Balikatan Trust Fund. Let us hear from Lina. Why was the trust fund conceived? What was our first fundraising for the trust fund? And how much did we raise that year?
we wanted financial stability. So in Virginia, we talk about I think the idea came from Del Anna.
Del.
Yes, Del.
How about doing a trust fund, and then if the interest income will be given to IBCF. Pero maliit lang ang simula, tigpa 500 per.
Yeah, naalala mo yun, Nance, sa Virginia? We were challenged to raise $500. It's either you give $500 or it's either you group yourselves so that you pledge $500. Di ba ganun ang ginawa natin? Yun ang ginawa natin. So how much do you think did we raise at the time?
We were able to raise the initial amount of 10,000. It was rich.
So for our first fundraising, we were able to raise 10,000. Eh ngayon, magkano na kaya? The 40 years after. How much did we raise, Lina?
Well, last time we talked about how much money there is in the trust fund now. I think it's more than $400,000.
Wow! From 10,000 40 years ago, ngayon, after 40 years, we have already raised $400,000 for the trust fund. So imagine yung interest doon that will generate out of this 400,000 will be given to InterVarsity. Kaya kayo dyan, may mga pera kayong tinatago sa baol, pakibigay na lang sa trust fund. Nangangailangan, I think their goal is, Nani, do you know their goal? Probably their goal is 100,000 to raise. But anyway, kung may mga, may mga life insurance, For those aging, include InterVarsity in your life insurance.
Well,
kahit 10% lang.
One idea, if we can ask former InterVarsity who are not active with Balikatan to give. I was able to do that very recently. InterVarsity alumni is not attending Balikatan. But because she's always hearing the news about Balikatan, she told me I would like to give 2,500 to
Wow.
Balikatan and 2,500 to Kawayan Camp. So I started the ball rolling. I wrote a letter and email to Tessie and then to Abe Navarrete. So 5,000 was given to Balikatan for Kawayan Camp
And the
and
trust fund.
the trust fund.
Melbs and Leni, do you have any opinion about the trust fund?
Oh, we are very excited. In fact, we are members of the Casey,
Fund
Casey, fund development. Kaya exciting yung news ni Lina, no? At ngayon, I know that there are people, mga Casey graduates who are forming chat groups, and they talking about, kung pwede silang magbigay towards this Casey Trust Fund para merong sustainability. Kasi alam natin kung gaano ka-importante yung mga leadership training. No? All of us, we do not have to be convinced. Tayo mismo ang mga products ng ating mga leadership camps. No?
Nan, you were saying something.
I think it's important to not be conservative about funds dahil kahit na interest target ranges, hawak ng Panginoon yan. Yang trust fund ay nag-survive na through two downsides in 1998 and 2008, and God held on to whatever ibinibigay ng kanyang mga disipulo para sa kingdom.
Okay. Maraming salamat, Lina, for giving us the information about the trust fund. Hopefully, maraming may encourage. Baka pagkatapos nitong ating Zoom meeting, meron ng papasok na pera sa trust fund. I really hope. Yes.
Just a comment, Lina, and Carmena.
Yes.
Actually, I think after 40 years, we are in a retirement mode na, most of us, no? Ngayon, ang napansin ko sa UK, yung mga believers na may mga resources, may bahay sila o may ganun, talagang gumagawa sila ng will na pagkatapos nun yung proceeds will go to mga ministries. Parang na yun standard procedure ng mga somebody na ganon, kaibigan ni John Stack, no? Magbibigay sa yung lahat ng property. So maybe, since we are all retirees karamihan, it might be a good thing, after 40 years, to think about how to liquidate itong ating mga assets and put that in the trust fund, yung endowment fund natin.
Thank you, Melba. I think Landy is listening. So Landy, take note, no? I think I suggested this to Landy too, that the seniors, 1% only of your life insurance, makakatulong na yan sa InterVarsity. Okay, lastly, malapit na, may music na, medyo malapit na tayo mag-end. Lastly, one of the Balikatan goals is to foster mutual encouragement and fellowship among alumni. Leni, do you think we have accomplished this goal? Have we developed friendship? Alam ko meron dyan kinasal, mayroon nagkaasawa dyan, or through Balikatan, or new friendship. So, pakisagot itong question na to.
Question lang yun.
Yeah. Totoo yung sabi ni George na when we give, we actually, we bless the recipients of what we give. Pero we are even more blessed. Totoo yun. Kanina, we talked about how Balikatan started, how it progressed from the human perspective. But actually, nadidinig natin, it was all the wind of the Holy Spirit moving, di ba? It was actually this project is not actually our project, it is God's project. And to me, this is awesome. If this is God's project, ibig sabihin, ni-recruit niya tayo doon sa project niya kasi ganun niya kamahal ang kanyang trabaho sa Pilipinas, sa mga kabataan natin, sa ating mga estudyante. Ganun niya kamahal. Kaya siya yung nag-isip, brainchild niya tong project na to, tapos ni-recruit tayo, nag-respond tayo. That is so humbling and at the same time such a privilege, di ba? Tapos pa, ang bonus na privilege, because we are working with the Lord, hindi ka pwedeng makipagtrabaho sa Panginoon na walang mangyayari sa iyo. Something happens to you, no? Something happens to you kasi ang katuwang natin sa trabaho ang Panginoon, no? We are connected with the Holy Spirit. We are connected with Him. And He's the one who connects us also together, no? So, we meet hindi lang dahil meron tayong common goal, kundi dahil ni-recruit tayo ng Panginoon and we are all connected with Him and with each other through the binds of the Holy Spirit, no? Kaya we live life together. We did not make a blueprint. Ano ba gagawin natin para tayo magkaroon ng fellowship? We just lived it out.
Okay.
Yung organically, no?
Sorry, Leni. May warning na ako. Request ko sa lahat, pwedeng i-unmute natin lahat. Give us a few seconds, Jojo and Lilia. Unmute everyone. Please unmute lahat kayo. Na-unmute na ba? Nakikita ko. Okay, unmute everyone. I want everyone to say mabuhay. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Mabuhay.
Buhay.
Okay, 3 cheers to Balikatan. To our pioneer leaders who had come before us. Mabuhay! To current leaders who carried on the 3 Balikatan goals. Mabuhay! To our members, lead where you are. Cheers to your faithful support in prayers, participation, and financial support. Mabuhay tayong lahat! Mabuhay! To God we give the glory and honor. Maraming salamat sa inyong apat. Good vibes! Thank you!